397115. 397115.
Don't touch that dial. We got music from morning, noon till night. We're all your greatest here on.
The devil probably thought this baby.
A remarkable mouth.
We have a remarkable radio station.
This is London, 5 o'clock in the morning. People do it.
I want you to go to Telegraph Road.
Headline, Oakland broadcast faux pas continue.
In the War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
Please do not translate this message.
The Steve Shell Show starts in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, lost souls. Welcome to I Don't Believe You. I'm Steve Shell, your genial yet skeptical host. I'm here with my lovely producer, Rhonda Rakelman, who will be fielding your calls and pressing all the right buttons. Rhonda, what's the count since the break-in?
Day 213.
Day 213, since the heinous break-and-enter at my home. Yes, folks, no one is safe in this world. My home was invaded and a random series of objects, none of them valuable, was taken. Though the degenerates did pause to bash in the screen of my plasma TV with a plaster bust of Mark Twain. Had to do that. Well, the $152 reward is still in effect for any information leading to the apprehension, prosecution, and imprisonment of these soulless Philistines. Well, now, on with another edition of I Don't Believe You. And that sentiment is in full thrall tonight for no reason in particular. As I remind you every time we meet, I've heard all the BS before, all the outlandish claims, the so-called eyewitnesses who knew a guy who knew a guy who overheard a guy. Really, you're full of crap. But that said, I'm open to being convinced. Our first caller is Victor from Shaker Heights. What's going on, Victor?
Hey, Steve. I've been listening to your show since, I was in high school. I can't believe you're still on the air.
Well, it's the only part of my show I do believe. What have you got for us tonight?
Okay, did you know that the CIA has agents working at suicide hotlines across the country? Recruiting callers?
First, let me say that I don't believe it. Second, if this were true, why would the CIA be doing this?
They're putting together an army of programmable patsies for decades. Where do you think Lee Harvey Oswald, Sirhan Sirhan, Mark David Chapman, Tim McVeigh, and Jared Lee Loughner came from?
Where did you hear of this earth-shattering story?
On a website called Limited Hangout.
Oh, well, if you read about it on the internet, then it must be true.
It's like a WikiLeaks kind of deal run by former intelligence agents who are now journalists. They're telling the truth about what the government is really doing.
Let me guess. None of these agents-turned-journalists publish under their own names. Can you give me one name?
Of course not. The government would kill them. What do you think? These guys are revealing stories the CIA and NSA don't want anyone to know.
And you trust stories written by people who won't reveal their identities?
Damn right.
Do you watch mainstream news?
Of course not. It's all propaganda.
Right. But CNN, for instance, gives you news stories reported by people using their real names who are talking about verifiable facts. So, how does this suicide hotline recruitment work? The CIA agents hypnotize people over the phone or something?
No. They, talk to people, find out how susceptible they are, and then set up a meet. It's like recruiting somebody into a cult. The agents play on the caller's feelings of isolation and alienation. It's pure psyops. So, over the phone, they can determine if somebody would make, a reliable drug mule or sex bait.
Sex bait?
Or a patsy who could be programmed to take an assault rifle to a shopping mall, shoot the place up, and then commit suicide by cop.
Uh-huh.
Who do you think is committing all these random acts of violence we always hear about?
Random violent people? Where's your proof this is happening? Has one of these patsies come to his senses before he was sent to shoot up a Burger King and identified his handlers?
I've only read confessions by former handlers.
Right. Well, Victor, I don't believe you, particularly if you have no proof.
Of course there's no proof. What do you think, these people are stupid? That they leave memos lying around?
Okay. Don't make the accusation if you don't have the proof. Otherwise, it's all noise to me. Our next caller is Cyril from Northbridge. Cyril, is that your real name?
Yes, Steve. Cyril is my real name.
All right. You sound like a real live one, Cyril. What have you got for us tonight?
Other than Humvees, what product or technology has the military-industrial complex just handed over to the general public?
Humvees? Military, industrial? Well, you've got me, Cyril. I'm not even sure I understand your question.
The answer is the Internet.
I'm still unsure I understand.
I was being facetious to prove a point.
So far, you're off to a roaring start. Could you restate your point without benefit of facetiousness?
Certainly. The Internet was first conceived by the Advanced Research Projects Agency.
Right. It came into being as the ARPANET in the early 1970s.
Correct.
You're scaring me, Cyril. I believe you so far. You're not calling to tell the world something any of us could find on Wikipedia, I hope.
Correct. The point I wish to make is that Facebook or Google and discussions about the ways they invade and violate users' privacy is all beside the point.
Really? I don't think there's much disputing that both of those companies have been very loose and free to change the definitions of what private information is all about.
It's all beside the point because the Internet itself is the government's mode of surveilling us.
You mean the Internet as a whole?
Yes. Since when does the military-industrial complex bestow gifts to the populace?
You're saying that in 1972, the eggheads at ARPA knew we'd be surfing porn and shopping online in 2011 and created the Internet in order to... what?
Data mining our shopping habits, our banking, our communications, our thoughts and blogs, our personal photographs, our sexual proclivities. You name it, people post in droves every secret, private thing about themselves on the Internet.
But there's no way to identify individuals online.
IP addresses.
Well, yes, but it's very difficult amid the massive glut of online activity to pinpoint who's posting what when. Aside from gathering some enviable marketing statistics, I don't really see how it's possible to...
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Touché, Cyril. But I still don't see what...
My point is simple. Since when are such secret projects like ARPANET simply handed over to the public? Answer, never.
What about Hummers? Those are military... Oh. You started off with that.
Yes, I did.
Well, Cyril, you make a persuasive argument, but really I don't see it. I can't imagine how a person or an agency or a department in the government could use that to spy on individual users.
Maybe you're just not as open to be convinced as you claim to be. Goodbye.
Okay. Of course I'm open to being convinced of any of the subjects raised on this show, but all I get are people's opinions. Opinions are like shadows. Everybody's got one.
Except at night, Steve.
Ladies and gentlemen, the comedic stylings of Rhonda Rakelman. What I didn't hear was Cyril quoting any sources for his information, any websites. Hey, I'll look them up if someone cites something. But opinions? Hey, it's a free country. As free as you are to give an opinion, I'm as free not to accept it without proof. That's the key. Proof. Give me proof and I'm all ears. We've got a break for a commercial, and I'll be right back with your calls. Chemtrails. Chemtrails are killing our agriculture, poisoning our soil with heavy metals. In 5 years' time, the fruit and vegetable seeds you buy at your local hardware store won't grow in your garden. The only seeds that will, you'll have to buy from an agribusiness leviathan. Don't be part of the food shortage. Go to patriotfoods.org and buy a 1, 2, 4, or 6 month responder of our freeze-dried organic food. Americans shouldn't have to get on their knees just to get a meal.
Did you know the FBI doesn't need a warrant to install a tracking device on your car? Did you know that the Department of Homeland Security has vans on city streets across the country taking x-rays of us and our vehicles in traffic? Fight back with counter-surveillance tools from Spy Shack. We've got frequency jammers, privacy devices, bug detectors, lie, drug, alcohol fidelity tests, locksmithing tools, and more. Freedom from tyranny begins at the Spy Shack.
You're back with Steve Shell on I Don't Believe You. Some interesting calls tonight, but nothing very convincing so far. All right. Our next caller is Gloria from Lethbridge. Good evening, Gloria. What do you have for us tonight?
Hi, Steve. I'm pretty nervous. I'm a long-time listener, but first-time caller.
No need to be nervous, Gloria. You're among friends.
I'm calling about the Lethbridge Hum.
The Lethbridge Hum. Is that an 80s synth group I never heard of?
No, we've got a hum. Have you ever heard of the Taos Hum?
Okay, right. Some sort of hum in the earth and no one knows where it originates. You've got one in Lethbridge?
Yes, we do.
How long has this been going on?
About 8 months.
And what are you reading about it in the local newspaper?
That's the thing. Nothing. There were a few reports in the news when it first started, but since then, nothing at all.
Well, I don't want to take the wind out of any conspiratorial sails you may have raised about this, Gloria, but odds are the hum is just from some industrial plant. The sound doing some acoustical gymnastics in the earth, banking off sewer pipes, bouncing off various mineral deposits, or...
Whoa. I'm afraid you're wrong, Steve.
How's that?
It's HAARP. It's gotta be. It's what the New World Order used to cause the earthquake in Haiti and the tsunami that hit Japan.
You're referring to the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program.
Yes, the government uses it to control the weather.
According to Ultimate Source of Truth, Wikipedia, it's an ionospheric research program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, the University of Alaska, and everyone's favorite not-so-secret department, DARPA. Its purpose is to analyze the ionosphere and investigate the potential for developing ionospheric enhancement technology for radio communications and surveillance purposes. Well, just a new toy for the panty sniffers. They've already got more than enough as far as I'm concerned, but I don't see how...
Are you familiar with the Georgia Guidestones?
I believe so. They're situated on a hill in Elbert County. Oh, okay. The Guidestones has its own website. So there are 10 goals inscribed in various languages on the Guidestones. one of which is that Earth maintain a consistent population of 500 million human beings.
That's right.
But there are nearly 7 billion people living right now.
And the New World Order wants to cull us like wild animals down to 500 million.
By beaming rays into the ionosphere?
No. They beam HAARP into the ground to cause earthquakes. I can hear it. Come to my house and you'll hear the hum.
But a humming sound is not proof that HAARP is being used to cause earthquakes and tsunamis by a nefarious group of feudal lords who etched their to-do list on 10 tons of granite in Elbert County, Georgia.
Your skepticism is not a refutation.
Well, Gloria, I hear what you're saying, but it sounds like the same old thing to me.
But Steve...
There are many buts in this world, Gloria, but the only ones I listen to are accompanied by facts. Now that Area 51's closed down, maybe you could open your house as a conspiracy bed and breakfast advertising the hum. Our next caller is Brent from New City.
Yeah, Steve, you're full of
Well, always pleasant to hear from the lunatic fringe. Sorry you couldn't stick around and chat, Brent, but no doubt you're off to do more productive things like raping widows and orphans. You owe me a Singapore sling, Rhonda. You're losing your edge. I don't mind the kooks getting through, but the rude shout and hang up kooks, well, you know.
I think of it as spice to an already good meal.
Okay. Our next caller is Dex from Freeborough. You're on the Steve Shell Show, and already I don't believe your name is Dex.
Huh?
Hello, Dex. You're on the air.
Yeah, I want to talk to Steve.
You're talking to him. Live, on the air.
I ran over a snake on the expressway, and ever since then, I've been seeing snakes everywhere.
You know what, Dex? I believe that. 100% unequivocally, I believe you.
What?
Dex, did you spend too much time as a kid standing in front of the microwave oven? I've got a feeling you're not running on all cylinders.
No.
Okay, well, if your snake story is all you called in for, I thank you for sharing the first anecdote I could believe.
Okay.
Before going to the next break, I'd like to remind you, my listeners, that there's a cool $152 reward for any information on the interlopers who violated the sanctity of my home. It's been 213 days since the break-in. You know, I'd almost feel better about it if it made any sense. I mean, to just invade my home, take a few random items, and to bust my TV just to be rotters. I need some distraction from this. Hopefully, after this commercial break, somebody will finally call in with something I can
do. When you've only got one shot, make it count. Make it a Patriot Precision shot. For over 25 years, Patriot Precision has provided the shooting sports industry with top-flight, cutting-edge products. Made in America for Americans. Patriot Precision is the only firearm endorsed by Len Noriguchi, FBI Program Manager, and COTR retired.
Did you know that the Federal Reserve is not a part of the federal government? And yet, it prints our money and lends it to us at interest every dollar. As the fiat money system crumbles, don't let your finances go down with it. Invest in Amerimint, precious metals, gold, silver, platinum. Amerimint USA. Take your money back from Fedzilla.
Back now with the third and final hour of I Don't Believe You. Mark from Cedarbrook, what have you got?
Yeah, like, I heard the cops, they got this drug, a special drug, developed by the CIA.
Who are you talking to?
I'm on the phone! Yeah, so that makes you yourself the minute they give it to you. Before you can do anything, you yourself.
Interesting. Let's see who else is on deck. And let's try Donna from Feverton. Donna, I hope you're calling with sanity.
I was sold into MK Ultra when I was 12 years old. Bob Hope raped me while Frank Sinatra filmed it.
Next time you have phone privileges on the ward, order a pizza. Rhonda, you're feeding me a regular fruit salad. Okay. Wayne from Newton. Wayne from Newton, what have you got?
Oh, man, I got on!
You're on the air.
Well, I have to tell you, asbestos cures cancer.
Come again?
Hello?
No, I'm still here. I was just trying to process your statement.
What? Asbestos cures cancer!
That's a pretty bold statement.
Well, it's true, and the government doesn't want us to know, and started this whole scare about asbestos, outlawing it, tearing it out of the buildings, because the medical industrial complex
doesn't make an antacid strong enough for the heartburn you're giving me. Sorry, Wayne, you're nuts. Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Okay. We've got Steve from Tallahassee on the line. Do you have something better than asbestos cures cancer?
Thank you, Steve. I'm very happy to be on your show. I hope you'll be open to what I have to tell you.
Hang on. Is this a joke?
I don't understand.
Are you that joker who called up a few months ago, faking George Bush's voice, confessing the Kennedy assassination? Are you? Imitating Bush is okay, but my voice is copyrighted, sir.
No, Steve. That wasn't me.
Well, what do you do for a living?
I'm in research.
What sort of research? Hoaxing call-in radio shows?
Are you familiar with the Finders, Steve?
I think Ted Gunderson had a burr up his butt about them about 10 years ago or so.
For someone who doesn't believe any of his callers, you're certainly well-versed in the flotsam and jetsam of conspiracy.
Okay, well, nice talking to you, Steve. Great gag, by the way. I have no idea how you're doing my voice, running it through a computer or something. Bravo. But if there is...
Are you familiar with the Finders, Steve?
I just said...
That's right. I'm sorry.
So, that's what you're after. Talk to me in my voice about the Finders. Fine. For those listeners who may not know about this weird hippie group, the Finders, there's a story on the internet about them back in the 80s. A couple of guys connected to the group were questioned by police in Tallahassee, Florida, after being stopped by police and found with 6 or 7 young kids in the van they were driving. Now, the kids were covered in bug bites. They were filthy. When they were brought to the police station, the children appeared to have never seen ordinary objects before, like telephones, television, or toilets. They said they weren't allowed to live indoors and that they were given food only as a reward. Have I got that about right?
Right. On the money.
I'm reading it off of Gunderson's website. I guess this group is also said to have links to Marvin Minsky's AI lab. Tell me, Steve, are you a member of the Finders?
In a manner of speaking.
Very cryptic. So, what's your story? You call me up, imitating my voice, mention this arcane hippie group, and what?
You must know that the men and the children you just spoke about weren't held by the police.
Right. Which Ted Gunderson, once a station chief for the FBI in California, believes is proof that the Finders have powerful friends in Washington. I think it's just proof of police incompetence or official indifference. Take your pick.
Among other things, the Finders have an interest in human cloning.
Of course. I see the connection now. Crystal clear. 2 men with a handful of abused children. It just shrieks of human cloning.
Do you know why we took your toothbrush, comb, and razor, Steve?
So, what? You're going to start guessing what was taken from my home in the break-in? Not even close, but keep trying.
You know I'm right. Doesn't matter. They have your DNA on them. And with that DNA, I was created.
You? A voice on the telephone?
I'm a person, Steve. Just like you.
All right. We're going to label this the Night of the Cranks on our website. Thank you for your call, Steve. It's been, well, it's just been.
I know you don't believe me. That's the name of your show. You don't believe anything anyone tells you. That's why I'm calling, so you won't believe me.
On that, we can agree.
But will you believe this? Do you believe in what we left in your sock drawer after we took your toothbrush, comb, and razor?
What?
We left something for you in your sock drawer. You know what it is.
Okay, this has gone far now.
I called so you wouldn't believe me. But you know what you found in your sock drawer after the break-in. Steve? Are you there? Dead air, Steve. Steve. Dead air.
Your DNA determines who and what you are.
No one has ever had the same DNA as you. It is the source of your uniqueness.
DNA Worldwide gives you the technology to do what no generation could do before.
To capture and store your DNA. To see your unique genetic code. To create items personalized with your own DNA.
For self-discovery.
For future generations.
Sunday, 8 p.m. at Cops.
I like this economical family-sized box.
This is the voice of Vietnam, broadcasting from Hanoi.
World turned upside down, where humans run wild.
Well, to avoid hitting Mrs. French's cat.
More music and entertainment, less work. It's super...
You are a good wife and mother, and people enjoy your company.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Good night, and good luck.
The Steve Shell Show starts in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0.
We're back with I Don't Believe You. I'm Arliss White, sitting in for Steve Shell, who's on vacation. Our next caller is Clark from Winesboro. Welcome, Clark. What have you got for us tonight?
Yeah, Arliss, I read on the internet that Steve's not on vacation. He's at the headquarters of the Raelian movement in French Polynesia.
Whoa! There are conspiracy theories, and then there are conspiracy theories. Where did you read that?
On a site called Limited Hangout. The Raelian movement is at the forefront of human cloning, and they are...
All right, Clark, you're making my job easy tonight. I don't believe this from top to bottom. No, if there are any listeners out there who aren't drinking the Kool-Aid, I assure you, Steve is on vacation, enjoying Mai Tais, getting sunburned, and with any luck, a little dysentery. Sorry to rain on the Paranoid Parade. Next on the line, we've got Cheryl from Somerton.